You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Justin Fields and the Las Vegas Raiders. The other day, before Fields got traded, in fact, I think it was, it was when I reported the Gardner Minshew news that he had signed with the Raiders on that 2-year deal. I included in that the fact that the Raiders were supposedly in on Justin Fields, and then something happened. Nobody knew what happened. Well, we have sort of found out what happened, and it seems that Ryan Poles may have greatly messed up this entire Justin Fields situation, and I'm talking about compensation. Okay, as we know, everybody was real puzzled. How the hell did that turn into a 6th-round pick in 2025? Well, it's because he came way too hard at teams in negotiations, and the price was way too high. And he was so high that teams literally just walked off. Okay, at the end of the day, we're still talking about a quarterback that, and let me just click over and I'll show you real quick. Again, a tool that it's not the end-all be-all, but it's a tool that evaluators do use in the NFL, and you're talking about a quarterback that is number 21 out of 38 in the NFL on PFF's 2023 grades. Now, I think we all know Justin Fields has flashed, and that's why the Steelers wanted to get him in-house. But even the Steelers put it up front. You're the backup. He's the backup to Russell Wilson, and we've talked about the fact that there is a big, big disconnect between NFL fans and what they think Justin Fields is and what the NFL, the evaluators, the general managers, and the coaches think of him. All right? Do I think he should at least be able to compete for a starting job? Probably, depending on who he's going up against. But nonetheless, Ryan Poles, you know, there was some talk that Ryan Poles did Justin Fields a solid. And I think the feeling is starting to emerge that, no, he messed this all up. And, in fact, the Raiders wanted him. And Ryan Poles came so hard in the scenario, they said to hell with it and signed Gardner Minshew. And the Raiders, when they ended up touching base again, Justin Fields said, well, I don't want to compete against two quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Now, I'm going to tell you, that raises some flags to me because you can't beat out either one of those guys. And don't get me wrong, point of fact, I'm not too sure he could beat out Gardner Minshew. But Aiden O'Connell, maybe, I guess. It's possible. But Ryan Poles, there may be some saving a face that's going on for the Bears right now. And now we know why he didn't get more compensation out of this deal. Justin Fields was near the top of the quarterback wish list for many Raiders fans. And according to Sports Illustrated insider Hondo Carpenter, the Raiders had interest in Fields as well. But the Bears' asking price for Fields was too high. And by the time they were willing to accept a reasonable offer for him, the Raiders had apparently moved on. Quote, they go get Gardner Minshew, and then the price drops on Justin Fields immensely. But all of a sudden, Justin isn't excited about coming to the Raiders because now he's got to beat out two people, both relatively young. Hondo said on the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast. I think this also clues us in that Justin Fields at least thinks he can beat out Russell Wilson. I guess we'll see. I don't know about that. Quote, and the Raiders were not all that excited about adding him because of that 5th-year option, what it would cost. And if he has to beat out two other people, how do you know you're going to get a good enough look at him before you have to exercise that option? You guys have heard me say that even with the Steelers. I don't know. How do you get an evaluation on him? If Russell Wilson, and they made it clear, Russell Wilson's the starter. How do you find out what you've got with Justin Fields? Or is the book out, all right? If teams, for the most part, acknowledge what they think he is. The Bears' initial asking price for Fields was said to be a first-round pick. Okay. And that cost eventually dropped to a second-round pick. But by the time the Bears got into a price range that teams were willing to pay, it sounds like the Bears were left negotiating with themselves. Wow. ESPN's Adam Schefter and others have framed the situation as one where the Bears did Fields a service by sending him to the team that he wanted. But they didn't do him any favors by doing a deal when nearly every team in the league had settled on their quarterbacks. In other words, they started into it, their price was way too high, and all the teams walked away from the table and went on to sign other quarterbacks. And then the Bears are looking up and going, oh shit, we probably should have taken a fourth or a fifth this year. He wanted a first-round pick, and everybody said to hell with it. There was a lot of interest in Justin Fields, too, Hondo said later in his podcast. One day, there's going to be a book written about how the Bears screwed up trading Justin Fields. He continued, it's insane. I have no animus against the leadership talking about the general manager of the Bears, but handling of Justin Fields should have gotten him fired already. Whoa. If I was an owner, he would be gone. It dragged out until teams were able to address their needs. Atlanta desperately wanted Justin Fields. The Raiders were certainly interested. But then you go get Gardner, and Justin looks at it and says, I don't want to go there. I can tell you of 5 teams that were specifically interested in Justin. The price was too high, and by the time the Bears had to adjust, people were just lowballing them. Wow. Wow. Reading between the lines a little, it sounds like the Raiders might have matched or beaten the deal the Bears got from the Steelers for Fields, but Chicago GM Ryan Poles severely overplayed his hand, and teams weren't willing to wait around. Now let's see if the Bears can find a way to screw up the number 1 overall pick. That's interesting too, right? But all of this that we've been hearing is that Ryan Poles did this fantastic job of hooking Justin up. And Mike Lombardi made a very interesting statement. He said that if Ryan Poles honestly did not take the best offer that he received and instead was like, oh, we'll just do whatever we think's good for Justin, he was like, that's not the way that job is supposed to work, and you don't do that. And you have officially done a massive disservice to the organization that pays you to specifically maximize value. That's your job. And it sounds like Ryan Poles blew it. Wow. Wow, Bears fans, you could be sitting back with a 3rd-round pick this year, 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick this year, at least some compensation in the draft that's coming up in, a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. And the Raiders could have had Justin Fields, and Ryan Poles screwed it all up, it sounds like. And with every other team. Atlanta, you heard that report. Atlanta wanted him. So did the Raiders. Wow. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.